Hi guys, it's Lydia from Bournemouth here. I just wanted to share a few tips with you on how we do the due diligence on our tenants. We obviously do what everybody else does, checking the landlord reference, employment reference and all the other bits, but we always make sure that the landlord is actually the person who they're renting from, and you can do that by checking their bank statements or tenancy agreement, because quite often what we find is that a tenant, for what we know, can give us their best friend's number or email address and say, oh yeah, this is my landlord, and of course they'll give them a good reference. So we always check is the right person that we need to be speaking to, and we quite often ask, if I've got any concerns, I would always ask for the landlord before, because if that landlord is not happy with the tenant and they want to get rid of them, of course they'll give me a good reference. Of course they say, yeah, that's the best person, the best tenant, take them, because they would want them out of their property. So be careful there, and always worth asking for at least another landlord if you've got time. Obviously depending on the size of the business, we are quite small, so it works for us. I always ask for at least 3, but if possible 6 months of bank statements, because I would want to see the tenants money coming in, money coming out, that they're paying the rent on time. You know, if their rent is due on the first of every month, I want to see it's been paid the day before or on the first. I wouldn't want to see that they're a week late or 2 weeks late with their rent payments. And if that's been once in the last 6 months, maybe there was a good reason for that. But if I can see regular payments of rent coming out late than they should be, that would be an alarm bell for me, and I would probably not want this person as my tenant, because obviously I would want a commitment that the rent comes first, and obviously this is your main expense and it's paid on time. Other things that we check on the bank statements is what are the spending habits, because the person can be earning 100,000 a year, but they, at the end of the month, they broke, they're going into overdraft because they're spending all their money drinking out on Saturday night, or going to a casino, or you know, whatever they want to spend on, but they don't have enough money rent to pay their bills and their rent. That's not a good tenant for me. So knowing how much your tenant earns doesn't actually guarantee your rent payments. So I would strongly suggest that you check the bank statements for the paying habits and see that the person who is potentially going to be moving into your property got a good understanding of budgeting and priorities. Obviously if they prioritize in their rent or everything else, you know, that's a good tenant for me. Other things that we check is credit reports. I would always ask for a credit report, and there's plenty of platforms there where they can run it for free on a free trial, so it doesn't have to cost them anything, but I would want to check that to make sure there's nothing on the credit file that would raise concerns with me. And the main thing, actually more important than other things, I wouldn't say it's more important, but it's equally as important, is the social media check. Check their Facebook, check their Twitter, Google their name. You never know what comes up. And actually checking the person's Facebook account will tell you a lot about that person. And I'll give you just one example that would help you understand what potentially can happen if you don't do that. So in the summer we've tried to rent one of our houses, and we decided that we're going to do it as a single let, because we didn't want to apply for a HMO license, etc, etc. But the bottom line is, we had a very good tenant contacted us, potentially from what they've put in the application, a family man with 2 children, a beautiful wife. They came to see the property with all their family. The kids were at school, wearing the school uniform, and everything was kind of adding up really nicely. But something didn't sit quite well with us, because they were just telling us everything that we want to hear, and it was just a little bit suspicious. And they were happy to pay rent in advance for a few months, and carry out some of the repairs in the property, and I was just like, well, that's just too good to be true. It just doesn't seem right. So we asked them for some time so we can check their references, have a little think, and we'll come back to them. So when we did the check on social media on this person's Facebook account, we went back over the year and we haven't seen a single photo of that family on his Facebook account. All his Facebook account was filled with like drunken parties, his friends, like honestly, like crazy what we found on his Facebook. And his family was nowhere to be seen. And doing our research on social media, it turns out that he lived with 6 other blocks, and basically having drunken parties every day in the garden. Oh, it's just been and uploading videos of that on Facebook. So he wasn't a family man, he didn't even have a family, so he borrowed somebody else's family to come and rent the property from us. So obviously we said no, but if we didn't check his Facebook, everything looked fine on the surface. So people can fake references, people can fake anything, but social media, you can find out a lot about people. So do checks and Google their name, see what it comes up with, see what they put on their Instagram account, see what they put on Facebook, because it tells a lot about that person. I hope you found it helpful, and please let me know if there's anything else that you check on your future tenants that I've missed, because I like to do my due diligence. I am a CSI of the future tenants, and if there's anything that I missed, please share. I would like to know, and it will help the community. Thank you.